Hello all, today we are going to talk something interesting. Generally people are heavily involved in two things concerning our astrology. First, they suggest a lot of remedies. Do this, do that, do it this way, and this problem will be solved. Secondly, our astrology, which was a vast and deep body of knowledge, lost many of its aspects because of Aurangzeb and the Britishers. I was reading in a book that when Aurangzeb was killing people, they tore open their own stomachs and hid their scriptures and texts inside to save them. Because of such events, many of our scriptures are missing. But today, the topic I want to talk about is Shiva. And Lord Shiva is not complete without Shakti. Shiva and Shakti go together. They are one. There is no difference. But here, today, I will tell you more about Lord Shiva. I will explain some of his astrological perspective, what reference he has in astrology. And through this video on Lord Shiva, you will understand that the mention of Lord Shiva in our Puranic texts is everywhere. He is in every Purana. He is in every Upanishad. Many of his qualities have been highly praised. He is the one who is also compassionate. People think Lord Shiva is terrifying. But that is not the case. He has compassion. He also has powers. He is beyond everything. What is called the Shakti, supreme power. He is above the elements. Fire, earth, air, water. So, let us begin telling you about Lord Shiva today. Let me start with this. People often chant a very popular mantra, the Mrityunjaya mantra. They recommend chanting Lord Shiva's Mrityunjaya mantra for any trouble you face, or when your health is poor. And this mantra has its own inherent power. This mantra belongs to Lord Shiva. Through this, we want to understand, who is Shiva? He is the one who is victorious over death. That is, Mrityunjaya, conqueror of death. If you want to be unconquerable over death, this death doesn't just mean our gross body. It means the existence that goes beyond the subtle form. That is what is indicated by Lord Shiva. Now, if I talk about Lord Shiva in the deep, intricate way that I understand him, many won't comprehend it. So, let's understand Shiva. What is Shiva? The first thing we all notice when we look at Shiva is the crescent moon on his forehead. And that moon has a specific, singular form. Any form of Lord Shiva that our sages conceived and understood, they gave to Shiva. The moon there is depicted in a singular shape. There is a story behind it. Soma, the moon god, performed penance for 1000 years at Somnath, where the Somnath temple is located. This was after Daksha, his father-in-law, had cursed him that he would wane and perish. His only fault was that he loved one of his wives, Rohini, more than the others. Because of this, he was cursed. So, it is said that Chandra Deva worshipped there for 1000 years, in the place that is now the Somnath temple. After that worship, Lord Shiva was pleased and gave him the boon of being unconquerable. There is also a story of Narada Ji in that, which we can discuss another time. Now, regarding the moon god, Chandra Deva, people say he grows for 15 days and wanes for 15 days. They call it waxing, waning, Amavasya, new moon, and Purnima, full moon. But the moon is the significator of time. We calculate our time and our days based on the 15 days the moon grows and the 15 days it shrinks. The Tithis, lunar days, leading up to Purnima, and then Amavasya, the waxing moon, the waning moon. The moon represents time. The moon shown on Lord Shiva is constant. In one form, he is a god who demonstrates that he is above time. Kala, time does not affect him. Space does not affect him. He is above space and time. And that is what Lord Shiva is. Lord Shiva is above space and above time. That is why the moon is on his forehead. It shows that everything in the world keeps changing. But the moon on Lord Shiva's forehead, which we see in a singular form, demonstrates that the Shiva Tattva, essence of Shiva, the Shiva Shakti, is above this changing time and space. It is one for him, and it does not affect him. This is our Lord Shiva. And astrology is all about time and space. And since it is about time and space, Lord Shiva is most important for us. Through the worship of Lord Shiva, you can change your time or bring a change to your situation. The power of all the energy around us is in Lord Shiva. If you look at one form of Lord Shiva, the one described in our Vedas, it shows Shiva with 4 arms, and in those 4 arms, he holds a kalasha, pot. What is in that kalasha? Amrit, nectar, elixir. The shower of this nectar is constantly falling upon him. In one of his hands, there is a mriga, deer, which is very restless and runs very fast. It represents the mind. He holds it in one hand. And in another hand, he holds another kalasha, in which Soma, the moon god, himself pours the Soma rasa, nectar. So, these 6 things. And below, with his 2 hands, he is in samadhi, meditative trance. In one description, our Vedas show him as the one on whom the nectar continuously pours. Lord Soma also keeps watching him and pouring nectar on him. In a way, he is one who has no beginning and no end. He wears the ashes of the cremation ground and the skin of a tiger below his neck. Thus, the lower part of Shiva's attire shows that Lord Shiva also incorporates other things that we consider negative. The thousands of people who have opposing forces, those who commit wrong deeds, who spit poison, who have poison, and all other things in the universe. He has assimilated all of them within himself. So, he is the one who has Amrit on one side, and on the other, he has embraced all the negative forces, all the wrong things we do. The dust, the ashes of God, referring to the cremation grounds where final rites take place. He has accepted all that dust onto himself. That is his love and affection. Amrit does not affect him. And he has accepted all the negative things of the universe, keeping them all on his body. He is always ready to protect you and us. Now let's come to why he kept the blue poison, Neel Zara, in his throat, when the churning of the ocean happened and the poison, Halahal, came out. When he was about to drink it, he looked at Parvati and asked, "What should I do with this?" Parvati said, "Drink it, because Parvati is Mangala, auspiciousness. She is auspiciousness itself. She knows her power so well that she knows, what I desire is what happens." So, when the Lord took the Halahal, he kept the poison in his throat. This was so that the people above, where the nectar flows, have the nectar, and are immortal on one side. And the powers below, which we view with malice or call negative spirits or generally negative things. All those negative things and negative energies, depicted in forms like snakes and bones, are with Lord Shiva. He said, "I have to protect them as well." If he had drunk it, the other things would have been destroyed. That's why he kept the halahal in his throat, so that the nectar above continues to flow. And the lower worlds, which I keep explaining, are also maintained and protected by him. Because he is the Amrit and he is the negative forces and he is the positive forces. Shiva is Amrit, and Shiva is also Halahal, poison. That is how Lord Shiva is depicted, whom we call Shiva. And if you observe Lord Shiva very carefully, a very important thing I want to tell you is that Lord Shiva has 3 eyes. Netra. And what are those 3 eyes? Listen carefully. His right eye is the sun, Surya. His left eye is the moon, Chandra. And the upper eye is Agni, fire. Why? Because Agni is also a form of Shiva. Agni, fire, earth, air, water, ether. Lord Shiva is beyond all these. So, these three things are represented by his eyes. And notice this, the word Ra is used for Agni, which is his third eye. The indicative word for Agni, fire, is Ra. The sun, Surya, is denoted by A. And the moon, Chandra, is denoted by Ma. The mind, Manas. From this, Ra, A, and Ma, the name Ram is formed. Ram is composed of the three eyes of the Lord. Ra, for Agni, fire, third eye. A, for the Surya Tattva, sun, right eye. And Ma, for Chandra, moon, left eye. That is why the 13-syllable mantra, Ram Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram. If anyone, facing any problem, sits on the ground, in a place with less sun, at dawn, Usha, and chants it even once, their small problems get solved. This is how the word Ram comes, which represents Lord Shiva and his powers. And when Lord Shiva was about to take the poison, as I mentioned, Parvati ji is always by his side. Shiva's form is that of Ardhanarishwara. As you see in pictures, half is Shiva and half is Shakti. That is one form of Shiva. The Ardhanarishwara form. Shakti is always with Shiva. And Shakti knows everything. When Lord Shiva was taking the poison, he looked at Shakti. Shakti is referred to in two ways, Mangala and Parvati. People say that Parvati, or Shakti, wears earrings, kundal, that hold the powers of the sun and moon. So, you can imagine her brilliance and glory if she wears the powers of the sun and moon in her ears. So, when Shiva asked Parvati, should I drink it? Normally, a wife would say, no, don't drink the poison. But here, Goddess Parvati said, I am auspiciousness, Mangalame, I create auspiciousness, I am standing with you. Nothing inauspicious can ever happen to me. She told him to take it. I am giving this small reference because I will tell you a whole series about Shakti later. Shiva cannot exist without Shakti. Shiva and Shakti always move together. And those who think Shiva is separate, Ram is separate, Krishna is separate, Shakti is separate, they are all one. In our whole universe, they all have their own energies. And there is no difference between them. Even Lord Vishnu. If you have read the story of Sati, when Goddess Parvati became Sati and Lord Shiva sent his two Ganas, Virabhadra and Bhadrakali, they cut off the head of Daksha. When Daksha's head was cut off, Lord Vishnu appeared. When Virabhadra advanced towards Lord Vishnu, Virabhadra heard a voice from within saying, no, this is my own form. Goddess Parvati told Lord Vishnu, he is my own form, my own part. This is the combination. And you will see in the Sati incident, Lord Vishnu did not immediately become enraged. When Shiva performed the Tandava, cosmic dance of destruction, Vishnu slowly cut off parts of Sati's body. When Sati's body was separated from Shiva, Shiva realized, what am I saying and what am I doing? Shiva and Shakti both moved together. To explain Shakti, Ram and Sita were also a form of Shiva and Shakti, where Shakti knows that the world runs according to her will. I run this world. I know what Shiva will do. Without me, Lord Shiva cannot do what he is doing. She knows everything that is happening. Every single thing. In one context concerning Ram and Sita ji, Sita ji said, whatever Ram is doing, I am doing it. And I know every single thing that is going to happen. This great union of Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is the one who sustains everything, as I explained. And with him is Parvati ji, who is the Prishakti, supreme power. The illusion, Maya, of this entire world is not run by her alone. Shiva and Shakti both run it. But both of them know what is happening. Shakti knows each and every step of Shiva. And Shiva knows each and every step of Shakti. When Shiva performed the Tandava, Shakti knew where the Tandava was going to happen, and what its consequence would be. And if something bad was going to happen, she knew where to stop it and what to do. Even during the Tandava, Shakti knew everything about Shiva. But Shakti is next to Shiva. And Shiva and Shakti are united. Shiva is beyond everything. He is the ultimate. And this world is run by his various forms of Shakti. The second form of Shiva is the Rudra Rupa. People worship Lord Shiva in the Rudra form as well. And there is a saying in the Mahabharata, which you should read, that Lord Shiva used to wear the skin of a tiger at that time. He used to wear a jenu, sacred thread, around his neck. That jenu was so brilliant. It looked like a serpent. His description is also found in the Mahabharata. His matted locks, jata, were thick and dense, as we see them. The power of his third eye was in his forehead. And he stayed with Nandi. He was described in such a form that seeing him would eliminate your fear. And those who were doing wrong deeds were punished. This is described in the Anushasana power within the Mahabharata. In chapter 145, the description of Lord Shiva has come. Shiva is Rudra. And if you look, Hanumanji is also considered an avatar of Rudra. Shiva. His powers were immense. Let me tell you about them with one or two small stories. As soon as Hanumanji was born, he leaped and reached the sun. At that time, it was the period of the sun meeting Rahu, eclipse, when he leaped towards the sun. And Rahu was coming to meet the sun. Indra, the king of gods, became very angry, thinking, this was Rahu's time. How did another Vanara, monkey man, appear? They call him Vajra because he had the strength of a thunderbolt. Indra struck him with his weapon, causing him to fall. He was Vayuputra Hanumanji, son of Vayu, wind god. Shankar Suman Kesari Nandan, which has its own separate story about how Shiva's essence reached Anjani Mata through Vayu. So Vayu became very angry. He took his son into a cave and withdrew the air from everywhere. When Vayu was removed from everywhere, everyone started dying. There was chaos. Then Brahma, Indra, and everyone came to apologize. They pleaded with Vayu not to do this, saying, we will all perish. The whole world will end. Then, all the deities gave 1/10 of their power, energy to Hanumanji, who became Bajrangbali Hanumanji, the one with the strength of a thunderbolt. His arms were like a thunderbolt, Vajra. So, Hanuman was also a part of Shiva, Rudra. If you look at his stories, you will understand what God is like. Once, Ravana became very arrogant. He decided, we must finish Ram and Lakshman. So, he called upon his brother or son, Mahiravan, who was in Patal, the netherworld. Mahiravan had all the Maya, illusion, under his control. So, Ravana told him to use his illusionary powers to eliminate Ram and Lakshman. Vibhishana found out about this. Hanumanji always stood guard right where Ram and Lakshman stayed in their cave. He was standing there and saw Vibhishana come and go. When he saw him coming again, he questioned him. Vibhishana denied having gone inside. Hanuman focused his mind, went inside, and saw Ram and Lakshman were not there. When he focused, he understood that Mahiravan had taken them. Lord Hanuman went to Patal in the form of a bee. He went to the jail where Ram and Lakshman were imprisoned. He asked them, how did this happen? They were inside the jail. And as he was going, there was a temple of Kali Ma, Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali herself appeared and told him where Ram and Lakshman were. and she asked him to tell them not to bow their heads. People misunderstand Ma Kali. She is the one who removes Kala, time, death. In every Rudra avatar, there is Shakti. Rudra means the one who frees you from fear and makes you fearless. As I mentioned earlier, one who is imagined as Rudra in the Mahabharata. Then the time came, and Mahiravan called Ram and Lakshman. He said, "Now you will be sacrificed." When he asked Ram and Lakshman to prepare for the sacrifice, Mahiravan told Ram, "Bow your head." Ram said, "I don't know how to bow my head." "Why not?" Ram replied, "I am a Rajput, a king. I don't know how to bow." Mahiravan came out and said, "Let me show you how to bow your head." As soon as Mahiravan bowed his head, one account says Hanumanji cut off Mahiravan's head with a sword given by Kaliji. Or Kaliji herself cut off Mahiravan's head. There are two different accounts. But here, you see that God also becomes the servant, Das, of his devotee. Hanumanji was Rudra, an avatar of Shiva, with immense powers. But when Ram and Lakshman were in jail, he became their devotee, their servant, not in the conventional sense. But see this in an emotional light. This is the power of Shiva. I remember another story of Lord Shiva, that of Markandeya. Markandeya was given a boon that he would die on his 16th birthday. His father had done a lot of worship. When God appeared, he asked, "What do you want? Do you want a son who lives for many years? Or one who is spiritually knowledgeable?" He chose the latter. The Lord said, "He will be very knowledgeable. But his life will only be 16 years. After 16 years, when Markandeya sat down and worshipped, it is said that he was in Kashi, Varanasi, which is why Kashi is a great holy place. Lord Shiva was in Kashi. When Markandeya worshipped, Lord Shiva appeared and was pleased. Markandeya did not worship to live longer, but because he had only a few days left, he wanted to dedicate himself completely to the worship of Shiva. He had become completely detached and gained knowledge of everything. He said, "I want to see Shiva, the entire creator, the Rudra, the Maya, the one who is above everything." Finally, the Lord gave him his vision. And Yamraj, the god of death, himself came to take him. Yamraj doesn't come for ordinary people. He sends his assistants. Yamraj himself came. The Lord, Kali Ma came there also. She kicked Yamaraj away, and the Lord saved Markandeya ji. And that is why people say that Lord Shiva resides in Kashi. And it is famous that if you cremate a body at Manikarnika Ghat, it is considered very auspicious. But people have turned it into a business. If someone dies anywhere, they take the body to Manikarnika Ghat in Varanasi for the final rites. That was not the real meaning. The real meaning was, in Kashi, where Lord Shiva resides, you must do penance and worship. When you do intense worship and gain great power, read Tulsidase's Ramcharitmanas. You will see this in his story. You will find a guru, spiritual teacher, and that guru will grant you the vision of God. That guru has so much power that he will lead you to God. And then, if your end comes in Kashi, God himself grants you his vision. And people say that when such people die, their right side of the mouth, face, is towards the earth. And this happens because Ma Parvati herself comes there and asks Ganesha to pour the water of the Ganga on the person's face with his trunk. After pouring the Ganga water, she gives a mantra to Ganesha, saying, "Put this mantra into his ear." Neither I nor anyone else knows that mantra. But Ganesha puts that mantra into his ear, which liberates that person from everything. He merges into the Shiva Tattva, essence of Shiva, and Katyayani Ma also stands there. When this entire process happens, Katyayani Ma comes first. then Parvati ji, then Ganesha, then Shiva, and then Parvati ji gives the mantra. Lord Shiva is the witness to all this. So, Kashi has great significance regarding Lord Shiva. But it's not that you can just write in your will that you want to be cremated in Kashi when you die. You have to go there and visit repeatedly. In this age of Kali Yuga, go there repeatedly, elevate yourself, increase your powers, and you will find a guru. Then, if your death occurs in Kashi, you may achieve the state of merging with the essence of Shiva and Shakti, the Ardhanarishwara Tattva. So, our entire astrology is based on these things. Sun, moon, and fire, Agni, all three are very important. When Lord Shiva had to create the world, he created Agni. When he threw the fire, the air couldn't contain it. So the air threw it into the water. The water couldn't contain that fire. So it threw it onto the earth. When the earth also couldn't contain it, the Lord sent a goddess named Bela, who was an embodiment of energy in a female form. She combined that energy with the earth, which started the greenery, the plants, the animals, and the humans. That is why in every aspect of our existence, three things are very important. In every temple, everywhere, you will always find a combination of an animal, a tree, and God. This is how the creation of the universe took place. And the sun, moon, and fire, Agni, are his eyes and his third eye. The Ganga is on his head. Soma showers nectar. In the middle, he holds his halahal, poison. Below that, he has contained everything, all the positive and negative things. Every world, lokas, is within his body. That form is the form of Shiva. If you worship him, you address time, space, planets, actions, reactions, and Chidambaram, the sky, ether of consciousness. As I told you, that crescent moon shows that he is beyond time. So, this whole concept of astrology is based on time and space, which comes from Shiva and his many forms if I keep narrating them. This might become too long. With this, I end my video. Tell me how you liked it, so I can tell you more things about Shiva. I want to talk about Shakti, because Shakti is connected to all our things, including astrology. Shakti is a form of Shiva. I told you that even when the Tandava happens, Shakti knows why it is happening, how it is happening, where the mistake is, and where she needs to intervene. So, this is how Shiva and Shakti work. How would you like it if I made an episode on Shakti? I will try to speak in a simple language because that's what people understand. Maybe I speak slowly, so tell me if you want me to speak a little faster. Please leave your comments. And the astrological takeaway for today is that Shiva is time and space. At dawn, Usha, sit on the ground, barefoot on the grass, under a tree, and chant Om Namah Shivaya 2, 3, or 4 times, using a mala, rosary. Your current problems will largely be solved. Thanks for tuning into Astro Decoded Daily. Please support our channel, like, share, and subscribe for daily zodiac wisdom. Until next time, stay cosmic.